Hello?
Hello, good day.
Hi, is this Dr. Massaquoi?
Yes, you're talking to Patrick Massaquoi.
Sorry?
Yes, you're talking to Dr. Samuel Patrick Massaquoi.
Hi, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
I'm very sorry for the delay.
No problem.
But it has been corrected.
No problem. I know that you don't live where you live, there's not very good internet connection, so it's no problem. I turned the camera off on my end so that we can have better connection. Sometimes it helps if the camera is off, so I apologize that you can't see me.
Oh, the camera.
Yeah. Sometimes it makes it go faster. It's up to you. But I turned.
Put it off.
It's fine now. The connection is fine.
Okay.
So I really appreciate you taking the time to talk today. Do you have time for the interview now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So let me explain what the interview is about, and then we can get started if you're okay with it. The interview is part of a larger project called the Ebola 100 project. The idea behind the project is to interview people who are in affected countries during the Ebola epidemic about their experiences. And the purpose is to try to to learn from the response, what went well and what did not go well, and to try to improve it for the future. So that's the purpose of the interview. So we're conducting over 100 interviews with people in all different fields, all around the world who are involved with Ebola. My particular focus for this part of the project is on maternal and newborn health. So that's why I got in touch with Betty Sam, and that's why she put me in touch with you. And we're interested in hearing about the situation in Sierra Leone before the epidemic, during the epidemic, and after the epidemic regarding maternal health. And so I really wanted to talk to somebody who is practicing during that time and hear your perspective. So just to let you know, if you would like to do the interview, we'll audio record it. And then it's up to you if we are able to use your interview or not. I have a consent form that I sent you, I think, and you would have to sign it and return it to us so that we could use your interview. We also can have you talk anonymously, so your name it's up to you. Your name doesn't have to be associated with the interview. It can be totally anonymous. Or you can allow us to use the interview, but totally off the record, so it would never be published or anything like that. And that's totally up to you. You can decide if you want to talk to us, and use your name, or if you want to be anonymous, or if you don't want us to use the interview publicly at all. It's completely up to you. The questions would just be about your experiences, what you think, what went on, where you were working during that time and afterwards. Do you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay. So it's just up to you if you want to continue or not, if that sounds good to you or not.
I really don't mind giving you the pertinent information. I really don't mind. I've consented to the interview by Skype.
Okay. I'll send you the consent form after the interview. You could either sign it electronically or sign it and scan it back. It's up to you. But let's just get started. So tell me a little bit about yourself and about your job and about what you do.
And my name is Dr. Samuel Patrick Massaquoi, a medical graduate from the College of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, University of Sierra Leone. Since graduation from medical school in 2009, I've been involved in active clinical practice, backed with some research work. And you may want to know what I'm trying to refer to. Since I graduated from medical school, and I've been involved in practicing as a general practitioner, with particular emphasis on maternal and newborn health. I have a vast experience. I'm working in difficult and hard to reach areas like Kono district. In 2011, I worked in Kono as a medical officer, and in 2013, I was in Bonn, serving as a medical superintendent of the government hospital. And since 2014, I was posted to carry down I'm still serving, 2014, the start of January. And within 5 months, we had a deadly epidemic outbreak. I don't know if that information is okay for you for now, for myself.
Okay. So,
Hello?
yeah, I'm sorry. The Skype was slow for a minute. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm getting.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So tell me a little bit about what you first heard about. What's the first thing that you remember hearing about the Ebola epidemic? Where were you then?
I was in Kailan. As I mentioned earlier, I've been in Kailan since the start of 2014 to date. I'm still serving as a medical superintendent of the government hospital. Kailan district, as you know, it's strategically located in that it is bounded by two neighboring countries. It has international borders with Guinea and Liberia. And you know the outbreak started in Guinea and later to Liberia. And on the 24th of May 2014, it was officially declared. That Sierra Leone had an outbreak of Ebola. But guess what? About a week ago, before the Ministry of Health and Sanitation officially declared the outbreak, I played with the patients whose provisional diagnosis was puerperal psychosis. This was a lady that delivered, and post-delivery, she started manifesting psychotic symptoms. She lost the baby, but we managed her at the hospital. At the hospital, it was really, really a challenging case. Right from the time the lady presented to the hospital up to her death, she was bleeding from every site that we communicated at. As at that time, we never knew it was Ebola or due to an hemorrhagic disease. But I'm of the staunch opinion that she probably died of Ebola. When you take into consideration the epidemiologic link, since she was coming from Kwendu, and that was where Sierra Leone had the index case, and when she came to the hospital, she was bleeding up to her death. But as I said, at the start of the outbreak, we never knew we were playing with such a deadly disease. We really do have Lassa fever here. Lassa fever is endemic to the eastern part of Sierra Leone. But when you can't compare the virulence, when in terms of virulence, you can't compare Lassa fever to Ebola. Lassa fever is much more indolent. As I said, we lost that lady. It was only after the government of Sierra Leone officially declared that we had an outbreak of Ebola that our minds went back to the lady, that she probably might have died of Ebola.
So tell me, let's go back for a minute before you first heard about the Ebola epidemic. Can you tell me about your practice before Ebola and what it was like in terms of women who were pregnant or were going to give birth? What is the situation like where you were practicing for them?
In Sierra Leone, when working in a district, we actually do implement the free healthcare initiative. And the free healthcare initiative has its priority on pregnant women, lactating mothers, and under fives. So it's like for the past 8 years, I've been seeing predominantly pregnant women, lactating mothers, and under fives.
And where do most women, before Ebola, where did most women give birth? Did most women give birth at home, or did they give birth at a hospital, or was in a health clinic?
But let me just seize this opportunity to tell you the way and manner that we run our health system here.
Okay.
Basically, we have the primary health care. The primary health care, we have the health post. The least post is the maternal and child health post that provides services for a catchment population of about 500 people. And as you go up the ladder, you have the community health post that provides services for 500 to up to 10,000 people. And for the community, and when you leave the community health post, you later progress to the community health center that actually has hierarchies, community health officers, which you people call clinical assistants, And we also do have trained and qualified midwives that do provide skilled birth attendants to clients. So should they reach their limit, they refer to the government hospital in Kailan where I head. It's like the government hospital in Kailan is a referral facility for these peripheral health units. That is where we treat women. Say, should there be the need to transfuse blood, we can do the blood transfusion. Say, should there be the need to perform a cesarean section, as it's commonly the case, we may go ahead to do the cesarean section. Mm-hmm. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, the facility where I work, it's the main referral facility in the district that provides healthcare services to a catchment population of over 465,000 people mm-hmm. in Kailan district.
Mm-hmm. And so it sounds like, for the most part, when women are giving birth, they try to stay local, but if it's a complicated case, they're sent first to the midwife and then to you. Is that right?
Yes. Locally in the community, we have health centers in the community. Mm-hmm. What we do, before this time, our maternal mortality rate was appalling. It was not encouraging, simply because we have untrained, skilled birth attendants called TBAs. We used to call them traditional birth attendants, doing home deliveries. However, with the improvement of care and policies, they've been dissuaded from doing home deliveries. As such, they now serve as community health workers. They now collaborate between us and the community. It's like they do come with the patients, they do encourage the patients not to deliver at home, instead to deliver at the health facility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then if they need further health, they come to the hospital where you work.
Yes, to the referral hospital. Mm-hmm. And with me being maternal and child health bias, as I said, I was fortunate enough to have been capacitated by the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. So that I serve as course director with regards to these life-saving skills on emergency obstetrics and newborn care. Right. So we are at least able to have saved the lives of these people, even during the outbreak, these pregnant women, even during the outbreak.
Well, so tell me about what the situation was for you during the outbreak. You had just told me that you didn't know about it at first, you had treated this woman, and then you heard the news. What happened next?
Honestly, the disease was new to us. At the start of the outbreak, even healthcare practitioners, we never knew that we truly had an outbreak, like we usually have here for diarrhea and vomiting, simply because the disease manifested in a different form. In medical school, as read in the books, we are told that Ebola, together with Lassa fever, it's a hemorrhagic disease. When once a patient contracts it, they will bleed from every orifice, This was not the case in Sierra Leone, because at the time of the illness, the common presentations were fever, headache, and some marked weakness, and later progressed to diarrhea and vomiting. It's like, not that we never saw bleeding, but these were the latter parts of the disease. So initially it was difficult for it to be accepted. Right. Don't forget, in Sierra Leone, we have a very low literacy rate. So the communities found it difficult to accept it. We, the health workers, were being perceived as killers. First, because in fact, there was this notion that because the money for HIV and AIDS was getting finished, that's why we, the health workers, have brought this new disease. And let's don't forget, as I mentioned, we have a relatively high illiteracy rate and backed by strong sociocultural belief. Well, I work in a community where the people are strongly tied to their sociocultural beliefs. So when we had this outbreak, we had several myths about the outbreak. It was alleged to a woman, a very powerful traditional healer, that healed somebody from Guinea, and it was alleged to a woman, a very powerful woman that was in Kwendu, that a traditional healer that was healing people. Actually, somebody that came from Guinea was sick. After some time, this patient died, and the woman eventually died. But there were some myths about it that because other people saw the snake that she was using, that was where people were dying. Uh-huh. It was only when the magnitude became grave and health workers were dying, and through extensive health talk that we did, that people started believing that indeed we had an outbreak.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it sounds like at first nobody believed that it was going on. People believed that it was, a supernatural phenomena. It wasn't Ebola, is that right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
And it was only after the
Initially,
situation got really out of control that people accepted that it was Ebola. And it was
yeah,
because it didn't look like Ebola normally looks.
and guess yeah, and guess the frustration for us, the health workers, because the disease has a very high case fatality rate. It's like it was killing 9 out of every 10 people that contracted disease. The communities misunderstood us. As I mentioned earlier, the disease started in a remote area, Kwendu, where we have this peripheral health unit. So the community misunderstood the health center there. They thought we the health workers, they thought the health workers there, we are the people killing their relatives.
Right.
And with the concept of isolation, with the concept of isolating patients, as I said, we have some strong sociocultural ties to our relatives. Even when they are sick, that's one way that to show affection. Because these people were being isolated, initially they didn't tell the situation because the community thought that we were the people killing their relatives.
Right. Because they were isolated and they couldn't go to see them.
Yes, yes, yes.
So tell me about how medical practice changed during the Ebola epidemic with regard to women who were pregnant. Did you set up a quarantine or what, immediately after you found out that it was Ebola? What did you do at the hospital?
With our hospital being the government-owned referral facility, we are capacitated. The chief medical officer, Dr. Brahma Kabu, mobilized his team and they did training for us. We had an infectious disease specialist, a Sierra Leonean by the name of Dr. Khan, that was heading the Lassa fever unit in Kenema. Unfortunately, we lost him to Ebola. So what the ministry did was to have capacitated, they capacitated all their health workers in not only the districts, but in the entire country. So we had the training from the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. At least we are taught about the basic signs and symptoms of Ebola, and should there be the need, how to isolate the patient, the effective and appropriate PPEs, and we are also provided this material. That was what was done on the part of the ministry. And we had support from national. Mm-hmm. Every time like we are talking, they will call us through phones, through WhatsApp, through email, telling us what to do, the do's and don'ts when we had an outbreak. Mm-hmm. And further to this, luckily, I happen to have doubled as. At the moment, I serve as a clinician in a government hospital. But luckily, I have a public health background. I have a master in public health. So even when I work in the hospital, I do not only treat or cure patients, I'm also mindful of the preventive focus. Because, prevention is better than cure, right, and it's cost effective and cost efficient. So like back to your question that you asked, when we had the outbreak, in addition to what the Ministry of Health and Sanitation did, the capacity development, we had partners coming in. We had the WHO that gives technical advice. We had the WHO that gives technical advice. In addition, we had the MSF, Doctors Without Borders. These guys have had experience with the disease before. Amidst them, we had Anya Wolf, a German that had experience in managing Marburg and even Ebola. In addition to that, we had East Africans coming. Don't forget, Ebola has been circulating around places like the Democratic Republic of Congo, Cameroon. So all these guys came in with their experiences, and we were humble enough. We are ready to have learned from them. So there was this on-the-job training. There was this knowledge and skills transfer. So they all came. And there's a renowned doctor that has experience with outbreak and disaster management, Dr. Yoti, and he's a Ugandan. So all these guys came, they mentored us, they developed us on the job. And because we are willing, we learned from them and applied what we are taught. I believe that is why we are alive to date.
Mm-hmm. And how long did it take from the start of the epidemic before these different groups came?
Long. Dr. Yoti took almost over 6 months, almost 9 months in Kailau. And guess what? Since the magnitude of the outbreak was that great and that grave, at the start of the outbreak, we had challenges with our coordination system in coordinating. So the first thing, with support from the WHO, when Dr. Yoti came, he worked closely with the district medical officer by the name of Dr. James Squire. He happens to be the health in terms of health-related activities in the district. So he worked closely with him. And as I said, with support from ministry, he started setting this pillar. We had this coordinating center, the command center, and we started having these pillars, like the case management, to which I was the head of the case management. And we had the surveillance pillar. We had the social mobilization and later changed to social mobilization and psychosocial pillar. We had up to 7 pillars that we had formed. So these were the channels that we operated through in bringing the outbreak to an end.
Mm-hmm. And were you seeing patients during this time?
Yes. In fact, in the whole of the country, as I said, I love research. So when these guys came, I was interested in everything to learn from them and to apply the knowledge and skills gained should there be the need. So we never shut down our facilities. As I said, the situation was becoming scary. Ebola killed about 11 medical doctors in Sierra Leone, even specialists. So the situation was becoming scary. Senior colleagues were dying. Even the guy that trained was Dr. Khan. He was overwhelmed and became infected in the process. We lost him to Ebola. So, as I said, the situation was difficult, it was turbulent. But as I said, there was a need for people, for Sierra Leoneans to display patriotism. There was a dire need for people to make the sacrifice. And let's not forget the Hippocratic oath that we took. Because this was the time that, because we had the outbreak, pregnant and people were dying from the disease, they stopped coming to our facilities. As such, they reverted to doing home deliveries. So what happened? There was this misuse of oxytocin. So we had pregnant women coming to the facilities with ruptured uteri. But guess what? As I mentioned, I was brave enough to get out my team. We risked our lives. We went in. We are at least able to have saved the lives of these pregnant women, even though we lost most of the babies.
That's
most
incredible.
of the babies. But we are at least able to have saved the lives of these women. So I think I have documented evidence for over 10 ruptured uteri that I did during the outbreak.
Wow.
I have pictorial evidence.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So it sounds like people were afraid of coming into the hospital, so only the very worst women came and, then you had to operate. Were you operating and performing cesarean sections during that time?
Yes.
Yeah.
And guess what? As and this knowledge is power. From my experience with the disease, it's like regardless of your immune status, Ebola doesn't hide within 5 to 7 days. So no matter how strong your immunity is. So when most of these patients came, say let's put pregnant women apart. So when most of these patients came, like for those that presented with other diseases like appendicitis, hernias, I'll observe them for additional 2 to 3 days. Don't forget, in Sierra Leone, the healthcare seeking behavior of the people is poor. What do I mean? They hardly come to the hospital, except when they are prostrated, except when they are really, really sick. That's when they will get to the hospital. So even when they came to my hospital, we observed them. We never rushed to operate them. So we gave them additional 2 to 3 days. Say because their healthcare seeking behavior is poor, say they might have probably taken, say, 3 days in the community without coming to the hospital. And after having taken additional 2 to 3 days in the hospital, I was relatively confident enough to do my interventions.
Right.
And I saved the lives of all those people that presented with acute appendicitis, incarcerated hernias, and even for the pregnant women. For those that came that were not stand, we observed them in our facilities. And we did deliveries during those times. For those that were in the facilities, we conducted normal vaginal deliveries. But generally speaking, the patient burden declined during the outbreak. The patient burden declined.
Right. Because people were afraid to come to the hospital.
Yes. Even though we never stopped seeing pregnant women.
That's really
our
incredible.
facility was open 24 hours a day, and we saw all pregnant women, all lactating mothers, and all under 5s that visited our facilities.
That's really incredible. It's really incredible that you continue going to work despite all the fear of being infected. What was it like for other health practitioners? Were other doctors or healthcare workers, did they stop coming to work?
Yes. It's, in leadership, we serve by example. What I did, in fact, there was a case that came. As I mentioned earlier, the guy had an incarcerated right inguinal hernia. And when he presented to the facility, I was in a state of medical dilemma. What do I mean when I say the state of medical dilemma? First, the guy had no money to pay, but was in dire need of the operation. So I had to risk it. I operated the guy. But while doing the operation, the guy passed an offensive stool that you cannot compare to that of cardiasis. It was strange. So I was suspicious of the stool. By then, we had our PPEs, our personal protective equipment, with the operation. But right from the start of the operation on up to the end, the place where I did the incision never stopped oozing. The guy was bleeding. From what we've read from the books, I thought I was going to see bleeding, say from the nostrils, the mouth, the ears, the orifices, but that was not the case. 8 hours later, we lost the guy. The guy died. And the next day, they brought the wife of the guy to the hospital, moribund, ill-looking. And from her looks, you can tell that the lady was really, really sick, frustrated. We took her again. As I said, my staff were afraid. I had to put on the PPE myself. They saw me did that, dressed, and I took her to the Ebola camp. Unfortunately, she was confirmed positive of Ebola, and we lost her to Ebola. But the point I want to make here, because there was this leadership, there was this head that was ready to have sacrificed, that made the sacrifice to serve. So later, my co-workers developed the confidence. They were already trained, and the zeal, they worked alongside me. So that was how I won them over. I served by example.
And they saw that you could make the decision, and then they were more confident to be able to come to work.
Yes.
And what were your?
And as I said,
go ahead.
And as I mentioned earlier, I was fortunate to have been capacitated on life-saving skills, emergency obstetrics and newborn care by the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. I could vividly remember on one of their lectures that where they mentioned to us that save lives but ensure that you are not putting yourself at risk. So in the delivery of care, the first thing that I ensured was that I had an enabling work environment. Was that myself, together with my staff, we are not putting our lives at risk. We ensure that first we had an enabling work environment before progressing to save the lives of the patient.
And during this time, can you talk a little bit more about the ways that different organizations work together to get you information? So, like the WHO and the MSF and the government, were they physically in the hospital with you, or were they communicating mostly by email or by internet or by phone?
Well, honestly, as I mentioned, we had up to 7 pillars. One of the pillars was the case management pillar, to which I was the head. Since I was the clinician in the district, I headed the case management pillar. Like at the start of the outbreak, we used to have meetings. Early in the mornings, we used to have meetings where we could update ourselves. But as I said, it was more personal. We interacted personally with these people, the WHO, the Medicine Sans Frontières. We interacted physically, and where there was a need, we exchanged information via email. That was how we operated. But the key thing, as I said, there was this staunch coordination between and amongst us. There was this staunch coordination right from the ministry level, because on a daily basis, the DMO needed to send the information to national, so that national too could know the situation in the country and also inform their international partners. So there was this strong collaboration. There was this strong cooperation, strong collaboration. And at the center of everything, there was this coordination. That was fine. We had our command center. You would call, should there be a case in the community, and that patient could be reached. It was just, the disease was killing people. The situation was terrible. But one thing that I learned this multi-sectoral approach in public health. It was not only, say, the clinician's job. In fact, our success to stopping the Ebola in Ghana, we contained the disease, we break the transmission within 8 months, simply because we did community engagement, involvement, and participation. The community members helped us immensely. Don't forget, as I said, after doing extensive health promotion, health education, community engagement, they believed in the reality of disease. They were the ambassadors. They were the people going to convince their relatives. They were the people going to convince their fellow indigents. And they caught up quickly with us. They believed in the disease. These people that once used to throw stones at our surveillance vehicle stopped throwing stones these people that once used to burn medical equipment and even drugs, it was that bad in Kailan. Stop doing all these things. And they collaborated with us. In fact, some of them were even used as contact tracers. So they collaborated with us in having these infected patients from the community to the appropriate Ebola treatment units.
And did you experience anybody treating you differently because you were a doctor during that time, like acting that they were afraid of you, that you would infect them, or anything like that?
Can you please take it again? Can you please repeat the question
Sure.
again?
I was wondering if during that time you experienced any stigma from people in the community because you worked in the hospital and you were a doctor.
Oh yes. As I said, I'm a health informatist. So when this disease started, we started engaging the community through these health talks by making these posters, banners, health talks, health promotion, health education. In fact, the guys in Kailan, these are young guys, bike riders, but they have a stake in the community. They write on my car, on my Jeep, my car, they write on my car, Dr. Ebola. They write on my car, Dr. Ebola. And sometimes when you try to persuade them along your persuasions, you perceive from their facial expressions that they want to hear what you say. Some of them, you really see that they even want to beat you.
Right.
But we are that professional enough. We continued educating them. And sometimes in life, we say we learn by examples. When some of them started dying, because we are the bike riders that we are transporting people, when some of them started becoming infected with the disease, and some of them started dying, the people said, this disease is indeed true.
Right.
The medical people are not lying to us. So they too joined us in doing the community sensitization.
Okay. I want to ask you now, when you think back on that time, you talked a lot about the 7 pillars and the ways that you really coordinated with a bunch of different actors. I want to ask you what you think the best thing that was done during that time was. What do you think the key success was for you during that time?
As I said, it was the multi-sectoral approach. The multi-sectoral approach. And one key thing that helped us in containing the outbreak was the community engagement. The community engagement, community involvement, community participation. We did extensive social mobilization.
So you think the social mobilization
helped us in containing the disease.
Right. Can you tell?
Hello?
Yeah, I heard you. Sorry. So can you talk a little bit more about how the social mobilization took place? I know you told me a little bit already, but what kind of social mobilization campaigns do you think were the most successful?
Yes, social mobilization. We had a pillar that we called, initially it was called the pillar of the social mobilization pillar, that later changed to social mobilization and psychosocial pillar. Because you know the untoward effect that Ebola can have even on survivors. So that was the thing. So what we did, as I said, because we engaged the community, first we started with the paramount chiefs. We started with the paramount chiefs. We started with opinion leaders like the societal heads, like the SUIs, the head of the female societies, the head of the men, the group for men, the head of the group for youth. We engage all these people together we had these radio talks, we had jingles and radio talks, and it was done in a different dialect. As I said, it was not done in English, but in our local dialect like Mende, that language that the people could understand, language like Gizi. So they understood us quickly and they joined us, and some of them were even recruited as contact tracers. These young people, they were recruited as contact tracers. So some of them are still serving as community health workers.
Wow.
So all this, because of this staunch community engagement and involvement, we were able to have contained the disease quickly. But honestly, it was challenging because at the start of the outbreak, there was this, we lacked resources.
Right.
We lacked resources. It was challenging.
So
but as I said, because of the multi-sectoral approach, the multidisciplinary approach, other partners started coming on board to complement the efforts of government. That's how we are able to have contained the outbreak in Ghana.
And what do you think the biggest barrier to success during the outbreak was? What do you think was the biggest thing that was causing problems or holding things back? or the biggest thing that you needed that you didn't have?
To me, it was this illiteracy. As I said, while illiteracy rate is very, very high, I work in a community where it's like only 1 to 2 people are educated out of 10. So it took them time to understand that indeed we are dealing with an outbreak. They were strongly tied to their socio-cultural beliefs. They are strongly tied to their socio-cultural beliefs. So it took them time to understand that indeed we had an outbreak. As I said, it was only when, trust me, there were instances, sometimes when you get to a particular home, you will see 9 people dead all together. It was after these terrible pictures, these terrible views, that they started believing that indeed we had a terrible outbreak.
So
but as I said,
time.
because of the illiteracy, backed by their strong socio-cultural beliefs, it was really, really challenging. That's not the only challenge. As I said, there was scarce resource as at that time. There was scarce resource. We never had enough logistics to contain the outbreak.
So tell me what happened at the end of the outbreak and afterwards. Do you still have these working groups, these 7 pillars, or when did they stop?
We have learned from our lessons. As I said, the Ebola outbreak exposed our health system. So that as I speak, we still have these 7 pillars and they are functional. We've even formed the Public Health Emergency Management Committee in our districts. So it's there. Like the last time when we had the outbreak in Guinea, it was mounted up. We mounted a response. We mounted a rapid response in the districts. By this strong collaboration, it's not only medical people. We collaborate with the chairman of the district council. We collaborate with the paramount chief of Kailam, together with other paramount chiefs, with other opinion leaders. So we have this committee that we formed, the disaster management committee that's in the district. So should that be the need, we mount a rapid response. So as I said, the 7 pillars that we formed during the outbreak, they haven't died. We've learned from our lessons. They are there, and should there be the need, we mount up a response.
So do you feel like the public health framework is stronger now than it was before the epidemic?
Oh yes, it's really, really stronger, and we now know what to do. We now know what to do. It's stronger.
Are international organizations like the WHO and MSF still involved, or is it mostly the national government now?
The MSF has left, but we still have WHO operating in the districts, and they are providing immense support to the district health management team.
And what about resources like materials or transportation like ambulances or medicine, stuff like that? Do you feel like there's more resources now than there was before, or about the same?
Oh yes, that has improved significantly. At least in my district, I can now boast of 4 ambulances, 4 functional ambulances.
And how many were there before?
In the districts. At least 4. We have more than that figure. But it's like they are now in the district. So should there be the need, like for referral pregnant women, the DMO will easily send an ambulance to the location. In fact, he has brilliantly pre-positioned ambulances in the different regions so as to minimize the delays.
And how many ambulances were there before the epidemic? Before the outbreak,
we had 2 that we had challenges with. They were faulty.
But now you have 4 that always work.
We have over 6 ambulances, yes.
Wow.
We now have 4 new ones in the district, so 4 new ones in the district, together with the 2 old ones that we had before. So it's like the situation has improved immensely in Kailam.
And how do you feel that the situation for health workers or doctors has changed, or is it the same? Do you feel like there are as many health workers or more or fewer health workers than there were before?
Well, Ebola kills quite a good amount of health workers. But with the ministry, with the government of Sierra Leone being wise enough, we have institutions that train medical personnel. So we've got new personnel that have added that have replaced those that we lost. And the situation has improved. It has improved immensely. Like in 2014, I was the only doctor clinician in the district. But to date, we are now two in the districts.
So
I now have a medical officer that understudies me. We are now two doctors in the hospital.
And before
And
it
we
was
have
only you.
who is also a medical doctor that assists us as and when required.
And do you think that the status of health workers has changed? Do you think that there's either stigma or more status in being a doctor now? Just in terms of the identity of doctors, do you feel more proud to be a doctor now, or do you feel like people are still a little bit afraid?
Me, to be honestly, I'm proud to be a doctor, and I believe that's the same picture for my colleagues. And the only thing that has added is like we now have added responsibility in a sense as if before this time our triage was ineffective. But I can now confidently tell you that if it gets to all the 14 districts of Sierra Leone, I will now have effective triage system where we actually sort out patients. It's now part of our routine activity. It's now part of our routine activity. And we do have monitors right from the district level up to national level. So they do go and monitor us in a very true supportive supervisory visit to see the good things that we are doing and to improve on the areas that need improvement. It has improved immensely.
And do you think that the situation for pregnant women has changed because of the Ebola epidemic? I mean, I know you said...
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, it has changed and improved. Like quite recently, the UNFPA, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, provided quite a good amount of medical equipment to the maternity, specifically the maternity unit of the government hospital in Kailam. And so not only for the government hospital in Kailam, it was also done for other hospitals in the districts. So, and the situation has improved.
So there's...
in my maternity units now, we now use leather mattresses. This was not the case before, but I said it has improved. It has improved.
So you have better...
our staff... Hello?
Yeah, do you hear me? Do you
yes,
hear me? Yeah, sorry. What did you use before? You said you have leather mattresses now. What did you have before?
We had them, even though we had some that had cages, but they've all been replenished by the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. And we also had support from the UNFPA through the Ministry of Health and Sanitation that have boosted the quality of care that we deliver now in the facility. All our delivery beds have been changed, replenished. We now have 5 delivery beds. Before this time, we were challenged with 2. Now we have brand new ones that we are using to provide quality care to our clients.
So it sounds like since the epidemic has ended, you have a lot more modern supplies, a lot more personnel, and a lot more support from different agencies for information.
Yes.
And what about the mothers? Are they? You said during the epidemic, women were afraid to come to the hospital. Do you feel like that continues to be the case for some women, or is that over?
No, it's for Kailam. And even for Sierra, I can tell you that it's all over. Now we are overwhelmed. On average, we do have over 100 patients visiting the facility, the hospital. We are overwhelmed. So
you have a lot more?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay. And for us, it was only after 8 months after we contained the disease, they started visiting the hospital. As I said, at the start of the outbreak, they were afraid. They were scared of visiting the facility because we are perceived as being killers. But as time went by, through the extended health talk, health education, health promotion, we regained their trust, their confidence, and they are now visiting our facilities. They are now visiting, and guess what? Almost all these pregnant women, lactating mothers and underflies that visit our facilities, they do benefit from care, free of cost. They don't pay anything. They don't give any user fees. So they do visit the facilities.
That's great. So it sounds like the situation since the epidemic ended has just been much improved across the board as far as you are concerned.
Yes.
So we talked a little bit about this, but it sounds like you've also learned a lot about, triage and about containment. What are you doing now in order to prevent a future epidemic that you weren't doing before?
before this time, we had a temporary triage. As I speak, we almost have a triage building that is near completion. And this is a standard one that has been built by the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. As I said, it's not only for Kailan, but for all the other hospitals, all the hospitals in the 13 districts in the country. They are building standard triage.
So an area
in all the districts.
An area in which to triage patients before you admit them so that they can be kept contained if they need to?
Yes. 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 We do not only have triage. Like in other facilities, we have triage and isolation. Like in my hospital, I have a 6-bed isolation unit. Mm-hmm. In about, I think, 6 months back, we did isolate a patient that died of Lassa fever. Mm. When we saw the patient, from the experience that we gained, we never assumed. We knew it was not Ebola, but we went through the procedures. We observed the patient. We sent specimens that were later confirmed as being Lassa fever positive. Mm. The point I want to make is this. Before this time, the health workers would be afraid. They were scared. But we were able to have not only triage these patients, because we saw some of the signs and symptoms that were consistent of Lassa fever, we isolated the patient. And when the lab results came in, the patient was Lassa positive and went ahead with our routines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you could totally handle it. It was routine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's all the questions that I had for you today, and I really appreciate your time. Unless there's anything you think is important for me to add or anything else you'd like to talk about, either about the Ebola response or about maternal health in Sierra Leone. Is there anything else you think is important that we didn't talk about?
Except the general view of the maternal health in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, okay.
Before this time, in the early 80s, 90s, it was terrible, it was appalling. But in the last 5 years, the situation has improved, backed by the Sierra Leone Demographic and Health Survey. In 2008, we had a maternal mortality ratio of 857 per every 100,000 live births. This was not so in the 90s and the 80s, because we had deaths in thousands. However, with the advent of Ebola, we saw a change in that picture. Our maternal mortality ratio has increased a little bit. It has now moved from 857 to over 1,000, I think 165. I believe it's like the gains made before, the significant gains, the significant strides that we made, we are reverted by the deadly outbreak. That's notwithstanding, things are beginning to normalize in Sierra Leone, and I believe we'll improve on the conditions of our mothers and under fives, and I believe these figures will reduce in a not too distant future.
Mm-hmm. So you think the recent increase is just because of the epidemic, and soon it will go back to a decline?
Yes, because the last report that we had, the Sierra Leone Demographic and Health Survey, did show an increase in maternal mortality ratio. It has moved from 857 per 100,000 live births to now to 1,165 per 100,000 live births. The point I want to make here is this. Things were really improved. Things were getting better. But we had interruptions due to the deadly EVD outbreak. Mm-hmm. But now that things are beginning to normalize, things are beginning to improve, I believe we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like...
And on the part of the ministry has started capacitating their health workers, their doctors, nurses alike. They're capacitating them. Like in the last 6 months, the ministry has been sending people to places like China and other places like to do this short courses, short training on infectious diseases. So there is capacity development on the side of ministry, and I believe we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. So the Ministry of Health has been investing a lot more in training since the epidemic.
Yes, in capacity development. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate you talking with me today.